Shadow of the Past. Part 1. Echoes from Yesterday. In the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a young woman named Emily. With eyes the color of storm clouds and a heart heavy with secrets, she walked the cobbled streets with a weight upon her shoulders, a burden borne from a past she could not escape. Emily had come to Willow Creek seeking solace, hoping to leave behind the ghosts that haunted her every step. But try as she might, she could not outrun the memories that lingered like shadows in the corners of her mind. It had been years since Emily had last set foot in the town of her childhood, a place filled with laughter and sunlight, now tainted by the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. For in Willow Creek, secrets were currency, and whispers of scandal spread like wildfire through the gossiping tongues of its inhabitants. As Emily wandered through the streets, she could feel the weight of judgment upon her, the stares of curious onlookers piercing through the facade of indifference she wore like armor. She knew that she would never truly belong in Willow Creek, that the sins of her past would forever mark her as an outsider. But amidst the whispers and the stares, there was one voice that called out to Emily, a voice from her past, a voice she had long thought silenced. It was the voice of her childhood friend, Sarah, whose laughter had once been the light that chased away the shadows. With a heavy heart and a sense of trepidation, Emily followed the sound of Sarah's voice to a small cafe nestled on the edge of town. As she stepped through the door, she was greeted by the familiar warmth of friendship and the bittersweet pang of nostalgia. Sarah's smile was like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day, her eyes sparkling with the joy of reunion. But beneath the surface, Emily could sense the weight of unspoken truths, the echoes of a past that refused to be forgotten. Over steaming cups of tea and whispered confessions, Emily and Sarah reminisced about the days of their youth, when the world had seemed so full of promise and possibility. But as the afternoon wore on and the shadows lengthened, their conversation turned to darker matters, secrets long buried, truths left unsaid. And as Emily listened to Sarah's words, she realized that the past she had tried so hard to leave behind was not so easily forgotten. For in Willow Creek, the shadows of yesterday cast a long and lingering shadow over the present, their echoes reverberating through the hearts and minds of its inhabitants. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle in the velvety sky, Emily knew that she could never truly escape the shadow of her past. But perhaps, in facing the ghosts that haunted her, she could find the strength to embrace the future and carve out a new path for herself in the town she once called home. In the first part of Shadow of the Past, we meet Emily, a young woman haunted by the secrets of her past as she returns to her childhood town of Willow Creek. Despite her attempts to leave the past behind, she finds herself confronted by memories and whispers of scandal that threaten to unravel the fragile peace she seeks. Part 2. Whispers in the Wind. As Emily lingered in Willow Creek, the weight of her past grew heavier with each passing day. Everywhere she turned, she felt the eyes of the townsfolk upon her, their silent judgments weighing heavily upon her weary soul. Seeking refuge from the prying stares and whispered gossip, Emily found solace in the quiet corners of the town library. Among the dusty shelves and hushed whispers of turning pages, she lost herself in the world of books, finding a fleeting sense of peace amidst the chaos of her thoughts. But even within the sanctuary of the library, Emily could not escape the echoes of her past. For as she pored over the pages of forgotten tales, she stumbled upon a name that sent shivers down her spine and set her heart pounding with fear. It was the name of a man from her past whose presence loomed like a specter over her memories. He was a figure shrouded in darkness, his name whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to speak of him, a man with secrets of his own, and a past as tainted as Emily's own. With a sense of unease gnawing at the edges of her consciousness, Emily delved deeper into the mystery of the man whose name had haunted her for so long. She sought out old acquaintances and distant relatives, piecing together fragments of information like shards of a shattered mirror, each revelation bringing her closer to the truth she sought. And then, one fateful day, Emily's search led her to a dilapidated cottage on the outskirts of town, a place forgotten by time, its windows boarded up and its doors barricaded against the outside world. It was here, amidst the overgrown weeds and crumbling ruins, that she came face to face with the man whose name had haunted her dreams. He was a shadow of the man she remembered, his once handsome features worn and weathered by years of solitude and regret. But beneath the surface, Emily could sense the flicker of something familiar, a spark of recognition that stirred the depths of her soul. With trembling hands and a voice barely above a whisper, Emily confronted the man whose past was entwined with her own. She spoke of secrets long buried, of wounds left unhealed, and of the ghosts that haunted them both. And as the truth of their shared history unfolded before them, Emily felt a weight lift from her shoulders, a burden borne from years of silence and shame. For in facing the shadows of her past, she had found the courage to embrace the light of forgiveness and redemption. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle in the velvety sky, Emily stood amidst the ruins of the cottage, her heart lighter than it had been in years. For she knew that though the shadows of her past would always linger, they could no longer hold her captive. She was free to forge a new path for herself, unburdened by the ghosts that had haunted her for so long. In the second part of Shadow of the Past, Emily delves deeper into the mysteries of her past, confronting the shadows that have haunted her for years. Through her search for answers, she finds herself face to face with a figure from her past, forcing her to confront the truth and find the courage to move forward. Part 3. Embracing the Light. With the truth of her past laid bare, Emily found herself standing at a crossroads, a choice between the darkness that had haunted her for so long and the light of a new beginning. Though the shadows of her past still lingered, she knew that she possessed the strength to rise above them, to carve out a future for herself unbound by the chains of regret and shame. With a newfound sense of purpose burning in her heart, Emily sought to make amends for the mistakes of her past, to seek forgiveness from those she had wronged and to mend the fractured relationships that had been torn asunder by secrets and lies. She reached out to old friends and estranged family members, offering apologies and extending olive branches in the hopes of rebuilding what had been broken. Though the road to reconciliation was fraught with obstacles and setbacks, Emily pressed on, her determination unwavering in the face of adversity. And slowly, but surely, the wounds of the past began to heal, replaced by the promise of a brighter future forged from the ashes of her past. In the eyes of those she had wronged, Emily saw glimpses of forgiveness and understanding, their hearts softened by her genuine remorse and sincerity. But perhaps most importantly, Emily found forgiveness within herself, a sense of peace that had eluded her for so long. for in confronting the shadows of her past, she had discovered the strength to embrace her imperfections and to love herself despite the mistakes she had made. As the seasons turned and the years passed, Emily's presence in Willow Creek became a beacon of hope and redemption, a testament to the transformative power of forgiveness and the resilience of the human spirit. Though the shadows of her past still lingered, they no longer held sway over her, for she had found the light within herself to guide her forward. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars twinkled in the velvety sky, Emily stood at the threshold of a new beginning, her heart overflowing with gratitude for the journey that had brought her to this moment. For she knew that though the shadows of her past would always be a part of her, they could never extinguish the light that burned within her, a light born from forgiveness, redemption, and the enduring power of love. In the final part of Shadow of the Past, Emily finds redemption and closure as she confronts the shadows of her past and seeks forgiveness from those she has wronged. Through her journey, she discovers the transformative power of forgiveness and the resilience of the human spirit, emerging stronger and more whole than she ever thought possible. Summary: Shadow of the Past follows Emily's journey as she returns to her childhood town of Willow Creek, haunted by the secrets of her past. In Part 1, Emily grapples with the weight of judgment from the townsfolk and seeks solace in the memories of her childhood friend, Sarah. Part 2 sees Emily delving deeper into the mysteries of her past, confronting a figure from her history and unearthing long-buried truths. Finally, in Part 3, Emily embraces forgiveness and reconciliation, reaching out to mend fractured relationships and finding peace within herself. The story celebrates the themes of redemption, forgiveness, and the resilience of the human spirit in overcoming the shadows of the past.